know how on Monday
I forgot to play.
I was like, every antagonist in my novel so far is a man? That's kind of not true. I just found cheating lesbians in a throwaway line.
There. That's its own level.
I know that it's not great. But I mean, there's good lesbians. And
Okay, as long as. But also, we need the shitty non-lesbian women too.
yes,
It's really bad.
I have my comfort sapphic couple, which might be a poly if I slightly messed something up and made it into a polyamorous relationship. Because these two women are definitely girlfriends, but then one of them referenced their partner it works in a different office. And I was like, oh, there's three of you now. So there's them, and they help out the protagonists. Then there's the whole toxic old ladies. Not old. I mean, they are old. Middle-aged?
I want to say I love that like one solution to fixing the fuck up was just to be like, oh, I have a friend, but you were just like, nope, they're poly now.
Yeah, two of them are guards, and one works in like the basically welfare office. I did not expect my medieval dragon gay love story to have to think so much about like welfare and the like paperwork that goes into like getting government funds to help out the village because it was attacked by dragons. But the biggest, like, one of the obstacles is bureaucracy that we have to like go through. It's like fun bureaucracy. It's not fun. Everyone's like, this sucks. But one of my, like, Jason's fucking this special interest, just joking with Rowan about this, is reports. He reads so many reports and then is like sad he has to interact with his best friend because he was in the middle of reading a report. I have to stop reading this to be like normal and talk to my friend who's sighing dramatically over there. But my report's on grade and irrigation. Literally, that's how a chapter opens.
I believe you.
So, hi.
Hey, you. So that's what you'll be working on today.
That's what I'll be working on. I'm reading through Storm's Heir, or skimming Jason's chapters because Jason has a lot going on. I mean, Rye does too, but I know Rye's better because it was in the original outline. And for Jason's stuff, it's either coming up on the spot or like new-ish stuff. So I'm like just making sure what did I write down for continuing the conflicts and stuff. So I'm just skimming through his chapters. And then I'm also making chicken nuggets.
I'm waiting for. I need a drink. I'm waiting for my pain pills to kick in, hopefully, and then I shall continue reading herbology information.
Herbs
and spices.
Herbs. I can tell, or I assume it's because of your uptake in reading herbology information. Because I'll be like, yesterday I was like, my teeth hurt, and Sam goes, "Do you want cinnamon stick?" I'm like, oh yes, I'll just grab that cinnamon stick I have.
All right, hold on. In my defense, I have a bag of cinnamon stick. That is just a thing we keep in the house for cooking and baking.
Yeah, I haven't reached that level of adult yet, where I have a bag of cinnamon sticks. I made hot chocolate the other night.
Hold on, as one who menstruates, you should actually keep a stick of cinnamon because the thing that, like, aside from medication, which sometimes helps and sometimes doesn't, is Chris makes this warm like honey milk cinnamon tea, and it helps with cramps.
I need to ask my mother what her recipe for cider is, because when it gets into cider season, I'll just like at home, I'll enter the house or wake up and the entire house smells like cider. And it's so intense. And she'll just have this like vat of cider on the stove with all sorts of leaves and sticks
Cinnamon
and stuff.
Cinnamon sticks will be good for that.
Yeah.
So just there. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. Also, when you buy cinnamon sticks at the store, go to the Hispanic section because that's not the one I want. There we go. Because they will sell in that section. They have like the big bag of really big cinnamon sticks for so much cheaper.
Okay. We have a Hispanic section because
All Walmarts do.
percentage of people, and yeah, Trader Joe's doesn't. I don't think so. At least they probably have like a shelf.
All right, but we're gonna start now.
Okay.
3, 2, 1,
Sam
go.
Horse. Timer.
Horus is the dragon.
I know, but I didn't say his name right.
Right there. See him now?
Hello.
Hey, you.
I finished reading through my manuscript that I've written so far, like skimming a lot of scenes, but I was like, make sure I'm not repeating the same conversation beats. And then I was like, okay, I can go into writing. And then I realized I do have to break down and research saddlebags and what you would store in a saddlebag versus your backpack or like your pack. Because they lose a saddle, like a full horse and one of their backpacks out of 2. And I'm like, well, shit, like they wouldn't be that like shit out of luck, but I'm like, fuck, should I have them not have the saddle and like the saddlebags and just have one singular pack? Like, do I need to make their situation that dire? And I think I might need to. Which means they would have been riding bareback, which is not sustainable.
It is not sustainable for someone who is not accustomed to it, correct?
Yeah, and Jason's probably done it before. Riot probably has for like 10 minutes and then went, why the fuck would I do this? Yeah, so I think I need to go back and take their saddlebag away. Or their saddle and saddlebags away. So that's what I realized. I was like, okay, I was like, yeah, it'll be bad losing half their supplies. And I'm like, they can just like, alternate using things. And then I'm like, no, I need to make this worse for them. Because they would be very prepared, and I can't have them be that prepared because
you're like, your realistic behavior is not working with my plot, so
yeah.
I have to God hand this away from you.
Well, before I God handed it, so they get to keep one saddle of the like stables not having taken the saddle off yet. And then there's like a throwaway line about Jason being pissy about that because it's bad for his horse. Like they should have fucking. Anyways. And then, but now I'm like, maybe I do need to do the more realistic thing is the horse comes out without a saddle on when he calls for it. And that makes a lot of what happens so much harder. And I think that's for the best.
That's fair. I checked my emails, double checked the form for any information, debated whether or not to make a Mila note to show my editor all the beta feedback. I don't know yet. Maybe.
You didn't come to a conclusion there?
I haven't come to the conclusion on that. And then I was like, what I need to do? I need to start setting up for the October Storytellers writing retreat.
Writing, you mean Storytellers Hearth? Weekend relay.
Yes, thank you.
I was like, we don't have a writing retreat coming up.
No, but they're all the same letters.
They are.
No, yeah, sorry. The Storytellers Hearth weekend relay.
Yes.
I had already discussed the date with Sarah, so now I was just making the deadline timeline and listening to an audiobook that it's a cute audiobook, but I was listening to that while I work. So
you should message me the time, the weekend, so I can put it on my calendar.
You want special treatment, do you?
I do. I deserve
probably wait until the announcement stream in September.
Special. Fine. I was pleasantly not surprised. Kind of surprised. Satisfied with the state that my manuscript is in for a first draft. For the past couple of days, I was like, what if it's just really bad? And then I watched a video. Okay. I watched a video on, I'm going to be vague, but it's on a book talk drama kind of thing about a woman whose story is eerily similar to my life.
To your life?
to my like writing journey.
Okay.
And
I just wanted to make sure I heard correctly.
yeah, and she published her book, and it was terrible. And people were really hyped about it, and it was awful. And it read like a first draft, like it was unedited and stuff. And then she's like, "I've been working on this for 10 years, blah blah blah." And but she has too much in common with me. With her writing journey, and she put like everything into marketing and not into writing. And I was like, fuck, what if I'm a bad writer? I was getting in my head, like, what if I put all of this effort in? Because she's been working on it for like a decade, and she's my age. And it was just terrible. And I'm like, that would be the worst feeling. Like, she had other stuff that went on. She's kind of liar and scammy and stuff. But the even with all that, just the working on something for so long and like it seemed like pouring at least a lot of energy into it, and then it just being terrible freaked me out a little.
Yeah, but like I
the
think
word
already without knowing any details or anything, you were like, she put so much into the marketing and not into the like production, and like that's already gonna be a major difference.
One of the things I'm not gonna, there's literally 2 people watching.
You're gonna have to send me the.
Oh, like, don't worry, I'll send you the video. It's 2 hours long.
My audiobook may have to wait. This may be
I was
Storytellers Hearth.
Also, a very pretty person did the video. But this woman, the writer, claimed to have written like 10 books. But the thing is, she would finish a draft, and instead of editing, she'd just restart the manuscript and count that as writing a different book.
That's not how.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
that isn't at all.
I feel
like writing a first draft and then restarting is like a thing.
No. What I'm gonna say is it's a slippery slope for me without context or anything to be like, that's not how that works. Because that is how that works for some people. Yeah. But it does feel like in this specific case, that's like she's writing the same book. It's just different drafts of the book.
Mm-hmm. It's the same story.
Then that's not writing different books.
No.
So
I watched the video, and like she had too many things that were similar to my writing journey so far and stuff. So I was just like getting a little like, it was a really good video, really informative. I like learning about, like, I love drama, or like things that, like, hearing about things. But oh my god, the way it made me just like a little paranoid, and then it like kind of built up, and I was like, no, you know what? I need to go look. And I was like, okay, no, this is a normal state for a first draft to be in. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I will. It reminds me of 2 things. One, the reason that I stopped participating in the nano forums way back in the day was because not everybody, but the majority of people would be like, oh yeah, I won nano, and like I wrote this many books and stuff, but when you like go check the thing, there's absolutely 0 information on any of their books except like the word count. That was it. And I'm like, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to actually
turn out words. I'm here to create a product.
Yeah. So I'm like, if they're just like hobby writers, or maybe even if they like were publishing those books under a different name and they just didn't want that connected to their nano thing, that's fine too. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't why I wanted to connect with the community. So that's why I stopped there. And the other thing, like you were saying that your feels were getting all mixed up into the drama, even though you were like unrelated to it at all. I have to be careful when I watch drama on certain individuals now, because their behaviors and personalities mirror an experience I went through so hard that sometimes I start going,
there was like a pretty big internet drama that wigged me out about the same situation that we talked about from when I was young. But yeah, so the girl was like, there was a video of her like crying and talking about how she's like, I just want to share my stories with others. like this means so much to me. And I'm like, I relate so hard to that, but you're not acting on the things you're saying. Like if it means so much to you, you should have worked on it harder.
I feel it's important to know that we can in fact relate to people who, not saying this woman is a terrible person, but just in general, we can in fact relate to terrible people, and still that doesn't necessarily mean we ourselves are terrible people. It's just means that we have the capacity for human empathy.
She's not a terrible person, I don't think. But one thing that was frustrating, I started one video and ended up switching off of it to a different video about the same topic. Is because they kept being like, well, she's young, she's just 22. And I'm like, no, she's my age. We have so much in common. I'm not giving her any fucking grace.
You're like, I don't have to give her grace.
In like experience. If there's like, obviously I don't know this woman, but like, I don't want people to be giving her grace because of her age, just because we have that in common. I was like, you can give her grace for other reasons, but not this.
You're like, no, not allowed.
Video. But so anyways, I was just reading my thing and being like, oh yeah, this is rough, but it's, you know, it's like the fucking, I sent you a line where like my jaw fucking dropped when I read it because it was like kind of smooth, and then me immediately being like, oh, it would be smoother if I cut out the first word, and you being like, yeah. And I'm like, yes, because it's a first draft, but I really like the idea of this like response here.
And I will tell you if I think like because of the way that I am, I will tell you if I think that it is not a good draft. Yes. Like I am probably one of the softest people I know when it comes to a first draft, because I'm like, it's your first draft, it's fine. But like when it comes to doing the critiques or the story or everything, I will always be honest and forward with you, because I would rather me be the one to tell you that it sucks or that it needs work than for you to get mobbed by a crowd of strangers on the internet.
Absolutely. And you're going to enjoy this video. But there was so much.
And again, any comments I make right now are not about the woman or anything, because I have no context on anything.
Yes.
So that's why I was like, I'm not saying she's a terrible person because I don't know anything about her. I was just saying in general.
And it was like, she didn't take feedback. Like, she hired editors, but then it still read as unedited, so maybe she just ignored what the editors were. And I'm like, oh my God.
I don't much care for the term unedited, just in general, because like you can't know if it was unedited if you haven't read the first draft. And
I agree.
So she might have like edited it and revised it and stuff. You can edit and revise something. That doesn't mean that you did a good job editing and revising.
Exactly.
But that is one reason I don't like the term unedited, because like it discredits all of the work that somebody may have done. Or it could just be like, you just don't like how it was edited or revised.
Yes.
So they can be like, they still feel the writing quality and everything is terrible despite her hiring editors, because she didn't listen to the editors on how to improve it. I just don't enjoy the term unedited.
I, broad-wise, like, blanket statement, agree with you for this. I would not be surprised if she, like, just from passages that were read out, that she got feedback from an editor, and just the way that this specific situation. But one part of it was like, oh my God, when I was 15, I got feedback and then got worked up on the feedback and didn't talk to that person for like a week and a half because I was offended of their feedback. Are we the same person? And then being like, I need to calm down.
No, literally, that is why I unpublished my 2 debut novels, was because somebody told me, they were like, it's really good and stuff, but you should hire an editor. And I was like, I don't need to hire an editor. It's all stylish.
And then one of the things, like,
we are allowed to be young and dumb in our early writing. And, you know, at least you were 15. I was 20.
I started writing when she was like 12, which is older than when I started writing my book. But people were like, it does read like a 12-year-old wrote it, which is a rough thing to say. But when I went back and read Shadows, which was my debut novel that I started when I was 10 or 11, yes, it does. There are scenes that, 10 or 11, 15-year-old came up with the entire idea of the story. And yes, a 15-year-old wrote some of the scenes, but the bones were laid by a 10 or 11-year-old, and it's really hard to move past that. So that's why eventually I'll redo the entire series, but I'm like, this needs to be set aside for now because it's just a lot needs to be done. And I'm like, oh, so like having that comment for this woman's work, and I'm like, that is a harsh comment, but from my experience, it is realistic.
Yeah, no, you're good. And like I said, I can only approach the conversation from a generalized
Yes, absolutely
perspective.
Really interesting video. I'm obviously not going to say the woman's name. But
I will. No, I'm kidding.
You're gonna be like, actually, no, she's fucking.
Actually, her name is Jane Joe, and she is the worst. Okay.
All right. Next
Here we
script.
go. I was about to mute the timer. That's not where I need to mute. We are here at break 2 of 3.
Hello.
Hello.
I wrote that time. I'm writing up a report, which is not a fucking reports all the time with me these days. Which is not super fucking thrilling stuff, but I've got 325. I keep having to go back and because a information guild member is giving Jason a report on everything Rise done, which means I have to go back and check the timing of everything Rise done. And they're like, they don't know everything and they're skimming over some stuff. But it's like they have to be like, they stayed in this place for this long because that's the kind of stuff you would put in a report. And I'm like, fuck, what was that inn name? What was that other's inn name? What was that other's inn name? Because they've stayed in 3 inns, not including the 4th. Look, it makes sense for them to stay in inns. It just also makes me feel insane. Because, like, they're traveling along a major road. You're gonna stay in an inn for the night. Like, you stay in hotels when you're traveling. And it's not like every night they stayed in one, but if it's an option and you have the money, you're gonna take it. But it does make me feel like there's usually like 1 or 2 inns per book, and I've had like 4. There's not going to be any more because they're being hunted. But
Fair.
yeah, a lot of inaction. Yeah. So I kept having to go back and check the inns names, which I thought I named all the inns. Turns out did not. Fully named like one of them, and that the roadside respite, and that's the last one that's not even going to be in this report. I named one, someone referred to as the Stallion. Is that the full inn name? It wasn't introduced as the Stallion when I went back and read it.
You'll never know.
Then there's another one that's just not named. I think this one's not going to have a name because it's in the lower city and like it's super shady. And I think it'd be funnier if it just like stayed in the inn on street name and street name. And Jason's like, ugh. But so I keep having to go back and check everything. I'm like, yeah, and then they killed 3 people, and I'm like, did they kill 3 people? No. Cassandra, my old lady, killed 1 person, and it was unclear if he died, but he's definitely dead. They dumped his body in a ditch, which, okay. I'd rewritten that scene. At first, it was like 3 guys were attacking, and they were just like random bandits, and then it became like this person from the night before and 2 of his friends, and then I checked it again, and I'm like, oh no, this is purely 1 person being a bad person and trying to kill someone for telling a story. And he's not murdered by one of our main characters. He's murdered by my enigma of a person, Cassandra, who might be, she's not a normal person. I don't know what she is, but I love her, and am slightly terrified of her, even though she's an object of my creation. But so yeah, that's what I was working on, which slowed me down, but I'm glad I got that far. I keep having to put Rye and then asterisk LN for last name because I haven't come up with a last name. They're going by Brunhilde's maiden name, which is going to be something Nordic. From our world, be considered Nordic, but because Brunhilde, when she was in the mercenary, I was like, shit, she would not go by her normal name if she faked her death in the mercenary group. And then I realized in the mercenary group, she was Brunhilde Salvin because her wife's name was Salvin. And I was like, oh, okay, so she just went back to her maiden name, and they all thought she was dead, so they weren't looking for her. So I was like, okay, now I just need to go to her last name, which I haven't come up with. I keep putting asterisks where they're proper nouns, and I'll just, at one point, I do have to go in and add names of roads and rivers and towns and last names.
Yeah, there are some times when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on my story today for like 3 hours, and then all it is going back and naming things and adding information that I was like, future Sam will deal with.
I think I should make I was like, maybe I'll make a list, and I'm like, I should make a list on like Google Sheets of all the names and everything, because I'm very much forgetting them. I have like the North people, but there's Northeast people and the Northwest people, because those are two different fucking countries. And countries are part of empires, right? There's countries within empires, or they'd be like nations within empires. I don't know the logistics of that.
Okay, no, well, nation, country. I don't know about nation, but I do know for sure that empires are typically made up of smaller countries.
Yes, and that's how this is working. I have the Greco-Roman country that doesn't have a name. I have
like
I need to name the empire, and name of the capital, because referring to this as the capital, as my dad says, feels very Hunger Games. And I was like, yeah. I mean, like, it makes sense for it to have a name because there are other capitals, because there's other countries.
No, literally, if people just refer to it as the capital, that's like so super normal in all fiction. That's like, I've read 8 fantasy webtoons where they just go to the capital, and like the capital has a name. There is a name for it, but people are just like, yeah, I'm going to the capital.
Referring to like, the capital is cool, but I need to come up with the name of the capital to throw it in like once. The capital, Washington D.C.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking everybody's too lazy to be like Washington D.C. We just say capital or D.C.
Yeah, D.C. And then I need the empire to have a name. Even though it's going to be referred as the empire, it needs a name. I need the dragon blessed bloodline of people to have a name that's not dragon blessed, because that's dumb.
What I did, I can sum up very easily. I worked more on Storytellers Hearth thing, mainly gathering the links and then taking the long ass fucking Google Forms or Google Spreadsheets links and going to tinyurl.com and shortening them for everybody.
Make this not obnoxious.
Well, one of the things is that like when you put a really long link into a YouTube description, it will actually cut it off after a point. And I'm like, that doesn't. Then if people like, so say that somebody doesn't use the Discord, but they still do the things, because we would prefer at least hosts to have the Discord, but I'm not going to make it mandatory if we can communicate other ways. So then they go to copy paste it from the paste the links from the video description, and then they have an incomplete link. It's such a fucking pain in the ass to then go find the full link. So I'm like, I shorten everything for everyone. So then at the very least, plus, I don't know, sometimes it's just easier for me to, because I know the URL formats that I use, to just type in tinyurl.com/ and then the thing, like I get to the stuff real fucking fast that way. So it like helps everybody. But I got to like the like Discord links post that I got in the Milo note, and it's like vlogs, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm like, people have made vlogs within the past few events, and so now I'm like, I need to go in the Discord and find all the vlogs that everybody made to put on playlists. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
I want to make a vlog of this event.
Well, good.
This one.
At first, I was like, maybe I should just make one playlist that's just like all the vlogs for all the events. But then I was looking, and like, I don't know if this is why I have to like go make a list of all of the vlogs that have been made recently, because the playlist actually average 8 to 11 vlog videos, at least the playlists that are currently made. So I'm like, oh, if that's the case, that's very justifiable to have, especially like since the event is only twice a year. So I'm like, that's fine. That's just 4 playlists a year.
Yeah.
basically. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But
Our AC just like kicked onto my apartment and the temperature is like dropping. I'm like, okay. There's like an event right there, like right above me. So it's a nice place for my desk, but I'm just like, what? But yeah,
like, don't be surprised if
your sounds.
Sorry, I was playing with my husband's cologne, and now it's very strong over here. But
sympathy.
yeah, don't be surprised if I like post on YouTube on the Storytellers Hearth and on in the Discord and stuff, being like, hey, if you've made a vlog, just send me the link so that I can add them to the playlist because I finally have brain power to do such. I also added you to several things because I remembered you said you want to help be the secretary.
I do.
Which basically just means, as the only non-mom of the three of us, you'll help us remember that we have to do things.
Yes.
And help collect them from people.
Add them to my calendar after the stream.
Don't add the deadlines yet until Sarah approves them.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yes.
But I listened to that video while I was doing these things. I will say, the person who did the video used a phrase that I think is much better than unedited. She said that some people were saying the book felt unfinished. And I think unfinished or unpolished are much better words.
Yes, than unedited.
Yeah, to describe. One of the this is me going on a tangent about grammar real quick. See, one of the other reasons that I'm like unedited is kind of dicey for me is it gives a very a mildly elitist connotation, because if like with genre writing, a lot, like you can look at a lot of books and you'd be like, oh yeah, no, that reads as like there are so many things in this book that are grammatically incorrect, but like it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Like it serves the story and stuff. And there's a lot of books that like from a purely grammar standpoint are absolutely fucking terrible. But like the book itself is really, really good because it's a form of entertainment and a form of storytelling. So we don't necessarily need that. And also the rules of grammar change over time.
Yes.
Fucking within my lifetime, 4 comma rules have changed. I fucking hated commas in the first place, and now they keep changing how I'm supposed to use them.
Just mess with you.
Also, like the Oxford comma is an optional rule. So it's like,
no, it's not. It shouldn't be.
I concur that it should not be. However, it is. And that saddens me greatly. So that's just, but like when I was listening to the YouTuber that you sent me, and she was like, yeah, and the books felt really like unfinished. And I was like, that's a really good way to phrase it. I like how she said that. So, and I do feel like that gets the idea across. It's like, as we all know, I'm a word nerd, and I feel like that by itself like gets across the idea and the meaning so much more succinctly, and then the conversation can revolve around why it felt unfinished.
Yes.
Whereas unedited should be like a very specific use, but because so many people, especially since like in the publishing world, revisions and edits are 2 different things.
Yes.
But people will use the word edits to mean revisions. Yeah. So they did mention in the video something about like the editing timeline. And with that, I think that's one of those things that gets a little dicey, because if somebody has done like 10, 11 drafts and they've truly like revised and everything, you might not need more than a 5-month developmental edit.
I don't agree with everything the woman says as a generalization, but applicable to this, I agree with the majority of it. But I'm definitely like gonna watch more of this woman's videos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Partly because she's very gorgeous and I like her ones.
These are just like things from the video that I'm like, this is a generalized opinion that I can give and we can discuss. And also, my AC has kicked in right beside me, so I'm cold. And as you know, when I'm cold, I talk more.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation.
it definitely prompts a lot of good discussion points for writing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna pause real quick. I think you, me, and Matt should do a let's talk with like a writerly subject. Let's talk soon, especially because Matt and I forgot why or what it was. I have to ask him, but there was just there was something that we were talking about with writing and a critique, and I'm like, we wanted to discuss it amongst everybody. I'll have to ask Fox. He has a better memory for things like
Okay.
that. But all right, here we go. I look forward to your reports on all your ins.
Did the sprint end?
Yes, it did.
Okay. I was like, I looked we had 5 minutes left, and then I looked we had 15 minutes left, and I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah, it must have just ended. I was trying to get the next round for the music set up. Like, I went through and I got all of the vlogs that had been posted in the Storytellers Hearth Discord and the Storytellers Hearth community Discord.
Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, people posted other writing vlogs. So I had to, like, actually start reading the titles as to whether or not it was for Oregon, or they're like, they're like Camp Nano, or oh, it's my writerly vlog, and I'd be like, oh shit, I don't need that link. But silly people self-promoing in our self-promo.
How dare. I think I need to make a, like, I started on my sheet of proper nouns I need to come up with. There are so far 16. I feel like I should also make a chart for everyone's just like name, last names, description, like, you know, start organizing the massive amount of information that it is in my giant.
Yeah, make your bibble.
Yeah. Which I haven't in that. Yeah.
I'm glad you ate. Also, hello, Textual. Is Eddington a surprisingly good movie?
Paddington? I don't know. So I just have been, started working on that. I went through and I have like all these asterisks and stuff where I've marked things I need to come up with later. Some of them are like, and then describe what that looks like, but I'm not sure what it is yet. Oh, and then also figuring out the fucking money system.
I am so terrible when it comes to that with fantasy. I'm just like, gold. We're just using gold. It's always going to be gold. If it's ever not gold, just know that on that particular day, I was feeling fancy and decided to do my own thing.
It's probably going to be gold, copper, and silver, just to keep it classic. But I need to figure out, like, conversions. Like, I have one thing I'm like,
10 copper is 1 silver, 10 silver is 1 gold.
Yes, but for, like, comparisons to real-world things, or, like, they stay at one inn for X amount of money, and then they stay at a different inn, and it's going to be more, and the characters take pause on the fact that it's, like, kind of expensive, and I need to figure out what constitutes expensive in this world.
I will say my conversion rate is actually extremely different from regular conversion rates, because I think it's like 1 gold piece should be 100 copper, and then like it's 50 silver, and I just like the 1 to 10 system.
1 to 10, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like coming up with a complete economy class system and housing market for your story.
Yeah. Well, I grew up with 2 of my very best friends who are writers. One of them is a massive world builder, to the point where they don't write the story as much as they work on the world. So they have like thousands of years of lore for their world, but they don't know when to set their story because so much happens. I'm the opposite. I have this world, and as I work through the story, I'm coming up with world stuff to suit my story. But now I'm 64K in words, and I'm like, okay, I've come up with some world stuff, or I need world stuff here, and I've put it off too long. Or not too long. I could keep going. But enough that, or I'm like, okay, the clock isn't ticking, but I can do it now. I have enough story there that it's not going to neglect my story to come up with some important shit. Yeah, Textual spent a year world building for speculative fiction, only said it didn't need 95% of it. Yeah, that's not my problem, but I know it is a common problem.
Yeah, for me, I think a treatment for world builders' disease is to only build as much of the world as you need to get started, and then build the world out as you go. Like as you discover you need things, that's when you build the world deeper. I will say, I say it is a treatment, not a cure, because not everybody can actually function that way, unfortunately. I do know some people who like they can't, they have to do all the work in the pre-planning phase. But like then their drafting phase goes so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it like, you know, everybody's got their own creative boat to build. She has muted herself. I don't know why.
I did for a second.
But yeah. And then there's also people who are wild and they write their worlds so well that everybody thinks they did. Why are you smirking like that already? Everybody like thinks that they spent all this time creating their world and doing all these details and stuff, and really they're just really good at bullshitting it.
Yeah. There's definitely, it's not an either or anything, but I was just, my world has depth, but it's depth that I've come up as I go, and so I'm like, okay, we need to compile this. We need to make sure it all makes sense.
Yeah, I will say definitely if you are a build as you go person, like taking notes as you build.
Yeah, and I didn't do that, so now I have to take notes, which is fine. But it's just something I have to do. And usually when I'm in the mood for writing, I'm in the mood for writing. And this is going to be like one of those things that is probably going to be very satisfying once I'm finished it, to have it all in front of me, but I have to go and do it now.
You can kind of look at it this way. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you've recently been using WIP Wednesday, and anytime you stream on Monday, that's when you do like all of the non-writing part of working on your story. And then you go do writing sprints in the server for the actual drafting.
No, I usually, when I do non-writing stuff, it's because I ran into something as I'm writing that I need to go do something non-writing.
Yeah, I'm saying that coincidentally, that's how the timing's been working.
Oh, yeah, somewhat. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was a conscious decision. I was just saying this kind of a funny coincidence of timeline, if I'm remembering correctly, which, as we all know, I could not be. Could have just happened twice, and I'm like, it's a pattern. That's not true. It has to happen 3 times to be a pattern. Twice is a coincidence.
Yes, I think it is. I don't know.
Once is happenstance, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern.
I agree. I'm just looking at our group chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to not look at it so I won't be distracted, but...
just...
Textual said, ever since I started using Obsidian, I can just split notes and link them. Game changer for me. Is that a free-to-use writing program? Is it a browser-based program? Tell me about Obsidian.
Yeah, I know there's like World Anvil, like there's a lot of stuff for this kind of thing, which I don't know if I'll use, but I think I'm gonna start using my own like sheets and stuff like that, and then go from there if I realize that I need more. Because they're, in my experience with those, which is admittedly very limited, usually I get it and I'm like, oh, that's so much information, I don't know. Rather than retroactively putting stuff
in.
Yeah. I'm so tired all of a sudden. I think it's because the lights, like, I'm going to turn on more lights in my room because this is, I'm going to take a nap.
Fox and Matt are creating a bromance so strong right now.
I know. They hate me.
They said, it's not just you. They said they were going to form an alliance in the music league. And I'm like, no, you're not allowed to form an alliance. And they're like, says the woman who lives with one of us. I'm like, yeah. And he and I make it our goal to
We're enemies.
work with each other. Like, we're not helping each other. Although he did before he like when he got home from work, he had like looked at the options and he's like, I know immediately which one was you, because he knew which one was him, and he's like, there was only one other on the list that he felt could be me. And I'm like,
I mean, hypothetically, you two do know each other the best out of all of us.
yeah, like I said, the stats met. We've lived together for 15 years. You know, we know each other's music taste almost inside and out. In our next music, for those who don't know, I'm sorry, we have we have 2 music leagues now. It's this app where every round has a theme and a prompt, and you input a song. And we've been playing it with just a small group of 5. Me, her, my husband, Matt Holland, who is also a regular on my channel, and our friend, and then my bestie, Fox. And
they're asking, are we doing opening and closings or just openings? I want to say just openings. Bullying them, not being able to read.
I'll bully Bartholomew all I want. He's trying to bully me back.
So yeah, but we have 2.5 minutes left of this. Did Matt already submit his? If he submitted an ending, did he cheat? You cheating, Matt? I'm getting a callus from the ring I'm wearing. But I also came up with an idea earlier in the sprint for just a scene for the next book. I was like, I don't know. I was just reading through a previous scene. I was like, oh, this would be something fun to happen. And I was like, actually, I think it would work really well for the next couple. By something fun would happen, something deeply traumatic to one of the characters.
Fun for us. Well, fun for you. Probably not fun for me.
Not fun for the readers or the characters.
Well, I was like, fun for us, the writers. But then I'm like, wait, no, I'm not writing this one. I'm like,
this is
not
the
fun for me
one
when I'm not the
like
one.
I don't know how to describe him. He's an amorphous blob in my head who's very tall and very muscly, but like I don't know much about him other than vibes, and I love him. I think he has second male lead energy. A second lead energy. I think that's the term.
Well, there's different technically the term you're thinking of, I think, is second lead syndrome.
Yes.
Which is just the phenomenon when the second lead in a love triangle is objectively a better option than the first one. But the first one is the one that she goes to. And I mean, like, when I say objectively, I don't mean like in the, oh, well, I'm team this one or team that one. Or no, I mean like, whereas our like main lead love interest is like toxic or abusive or like has, you know, done horrible things and is not like or whatever, and the chemistry with the love interest doesn't exist at all. And then the second lead comes in and boom, from the moment they start talking, there's chemistry. The second lead treats them right and all this other shit, and then it's like, no, they're still going with the first one.
Yeah. So I think he has second lead energy.
He has energy to be a main character, but secondary main character.
But he is the main, well, I guess he is. It's Yuri's book, and then he's the love interest. But they'll be split POV, whatever. Let's do the sprint.
Fox is claiming I hate him again.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Ta-da. I worked on my spreadsheet and then read on my phone. Now I have a master list, a people list, a places list, and a things.
Nice. I also worked on my spreadsheet. I got all of the links organized by month and year, and so now I'm gonna like go back to the playlists that have already been created, make sure that I've got all of those on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll basically put out a big post that's like, hey, if you excuse you, that's rude. Put out a big post that's basically like, hey, if you've made a vlog for the event and you're not on one of these lists, just send me the link, let me know, I'll put it up there. So
Nice. I am feeling the edges of obsession to make this list on these charts where I'm like, do I need to add every like randomly named guard? I probably should, because they could reappear in later books, and it would be like cool to have reappearing guards and stuff. Fuck, I do, don't I? I don't need to do anything, but you know, it'd be more snazzy. So I'm definitely going to curl up in bed after the stream. I've been sleeping terribly. Which is fine. It's not, but it's fine. Yeah.
I'm answering a question for my husband real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've done some very good progress today.
Oh, I should probably see how much I wrote today. It's not.
Oh yeah, update your chart.
Let's see.
Let me just go count all the words and the links that I made.
6, 3, 5, 2, 5. 3. It's not going to be much. Yeah, it's very little. Because I did admin-y stuff. Fudge. That means I'm going to have to write much more words tomorrow. Yeah, it was 385 words today. I did delete stuff as I was going through and editing. And then just in general. Well, I'm on day 3 of trying to write the 20K in 20 days for the rest of the month. And I'm at 3,094 because yesterday I wrote almost 2,000 words. I am on pace.
For me, part of the like keeping track of word progress is it's like if the goal is to write so many words in the month, I just have an open a separate document open, and every time I like make a revision, I copy paste the new words into it. And then I add those to my total. But like if your goal is you want your manuscript at this length, then yeah.
80,000 words.
You can do it. See, like, my goal for the month, which may or may not get done because I'm doing other things, is just to do so many words towards my project. So all of the research notes, I count those.
Yeah. That's cool. Cool. I'm excited for once I finish this scene, then I get to enter a thing I came up with a while ago that will either be really cool or I'll have to figure it out. I've gotten the comment on it. It depends on your execution. And I'm like, okay. I mean, everything does.
I will say not everything, but that is quite often my response when people are like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, I gotta wait till it's executed.
Like, torture, yay. Yeah.
Well, that just means that if there's ever a thing when I'm like, no, don't do that, then you know that.
No, it's just no matter how well you write that, it's just bad.
Like, I don't care how you're going to execute it. It's a no.
Which is a fair response.
Yes. Killing off my favorite character? No.
No. I'm considering changing Yuri's name, but also I'm so used to his name being Yuri. But also, he would totally go by a fake name. He has gone by fake names. So, yeah.
Well, I think we are justified in going ahead and closing down early.
Yeah.
So
I got stuff done. You got stuff done. We
will both be on the channel Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be on my channel Monday.
My
WIP
channel
Wednesday is on CB's channel next week.
And we will be scheduling the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation Volume 2 book talk at some point.
Yes. So thank you all for joining, for hanging out, and we will catch you next time. Bye.